Welcome to our second You Be the Judge show, where we're going to show you about a game that will soon be on Kickstarter that we decided to support. We're going to show you a little bit about the game so that you can decide if you want to support it as well.
You're going to be the judge. And by the way, I've got my judge hat on. I've determined that this show, even though it's only the second one, I'm always going to wear my hat. I don't know why, but I feel like this is my You Be the Judge hat.
I'm not going to wear a hat. You can have that.
Along with my Horton Here's a Who shirt.
I got a little Who over here. Little TARDIS.
Little TARDIS. We're begging, we were just dying for the new Doctor Who to start. It feels like it's been forever. Okay, that's a side note, but
yeah.
So we're in Doctor Who today. Today's game that you be the judging on is called Microvores. And I hope I'm saying that right. Microvores.
Yes, you're definitely saying it right.
A game of parasites. It's actually made by Wendigo, and they actually sent us a sample to try. It's a beta version, but we thank them for that. And we definitely liked it, so we're going to support it.
Yeah. So I like this game because the really big difference with the way the game works is that you're playing these really, really tiny organisms. Of course, they look large here.
Parasites.
They're playing parasites instead of like the armed guard or the centurion or whatever, other game elements you might, or a meeple. These are just tiny, tiny little parasites. But, I guess size is relative. They can fight each other just like any game. So
right.
It's kind of cool.
Yep. So we're going to take a quick look at the game. Let's take a look at the game board here. There's actually 4 quadrants of the game board, and each quadrant represents a microbe as they call them. There's unfortunately the disgusting paramecium here. Ugh. They're kind of ugly, I'm not going to lie, but they're cool, but they're ugly.
They're not cuddly, that's for sure.
You can't, not like a meeple. Oh, sorry, I'm just kidding. All right, I'll stop it with the meeples. Here's amoeba. We have the virus. Watch out, don't even touch that. Ooh, virus. And then the bacteria. So again, 4 quadrants. Again, 4 players could play. We played on a 2-player perspective here, but I played the bacteria, and Philip, you got the amoeba during this play that we did. Now, each person's section has a little counter area where it kind of shows you where you're at. The first counter here in red is your damage counter. So you start off the game with 0 damage, which is a good thing. The food counter, and you start off with 6 items of food, although if you do go over 10, there's another counter underneath to show like 10, 20, 30, or 40 counters of food. And then you have your mutation level, which you both start off at a 1.
So we're just a little bit mutated to start out.
A little bit, a lot mutated, but let's go there. The other components of the game is you have a deck of evolution cards, and you use those throughout the games to do certain things. You have the food counters, as well as the yellow counters are called special counters, and the red counters are the toxins, which could hurt my little tiny bacteria. Doesn't that sound funny? Toxins hurting bacteria. You always think bacteria is bad, but anyway. It's all good. I'm not a science major, so let's just leave it there. Now, the goal of there's a spinner here that you spin for multiple things. There's also these little tiny, for a better word, when you're a microbe, you can divide.
Subdivide,
right?
yes. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, you're making more of yourself. It's kind of cool. Wouldn't that be cool to me? Oh, never mind. You'd want to kill yourself. But all right, fair enough. The goal of the game, though, is to have all 4 of your subdivision dudes on the table playing with you.
Along with your original microbe.
The original microbe, or killing off the other guy's microbe and family, basically. So, basically trying to destroy each other, but at the same time, you're trying to build yourself up to have at least 4 copies of yourself, 4 replicas of yourself, to win the game. So it's pretty even, rules of what you have to do there.
Yeah.
Kill each other or
kill or be killed.
Or make more of yourself.
Right.
So it's kind of cool. That's what Phil said. It's a different type of a game. It's not just, go around the board and win points. It's you're trying to kill each other and you're trying to subdivide yourself. All right, so let's take a look at how the game is actually played. We're going to play a couple of turns. Like I said, we're not going to play a full game here, just to show you how it actually works. Yeah. Now, during a turn, there's actually 4 phases. So let's say I went first.
Deja vu.
Okay, so if I go first, the first thing I do is I have to either eat some food or cannibalize myself and take a point of damage. which is not nice. So if you have enough food, go ahead. I will. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move my food down to 5. And that, that's basically called your, what's the word? Metabolism phase.
Right.
Metabolizing. So I will go ahead and eat a piece of food. Now, then what happens, Phil? What's the second part of my term? Drift phase, right?
The
Drift
second
phase?
part, well, then comes the drift phase. So
Right,
the drift,
yeah, I'm still doing that, but you'll go ahead and explain it.
right, the drift phase represents particles coming into this area, so coming
particles.
to the organisms. And as Jane mentioned, you've got these different counters for food, for toxins, and for special particles that
We're in
can
like this
come
big
through.
lake, let's say.
It's like a kind of a goo.
Things are coming around, yeah.
So that's represented, or that's actually done using the spinner.
Spinner's really cool. The spinner's got a lot of components, so we'll go ahead and go through the different parts of the drift. So go ahead, Phil. So first,
Sure.
I spin first.
Right, we're going to spin first, and remember we started with the quadrants. So first we're going to see what quadrant this shows up. So it shows up in the bacteria
So it's going to hit
area.
this bacteria area.
Right, now there are 36 numbers in here, so we're going to spin to see where that ends up in the bacteria quadrant. And it looks like
22.
it ended on 22, so 22 right here.
Yes, that's where we'll be putting the stuff. I'll put
Right.
this down so y'all can see it a little better.
And then we're going to spin a third time to find out what actually ends up happening starting at this spot, 22.
And it's a
So
special.
we have a special.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the yellow arrow, because it is my turn, in the special, not in special, in the box. So it was 22.
22.
So we'll put it just like that. Now special, when you actually move your microbe into that area, you need to spin for the special yellow thing to say what's going to happen, whether you mutate, evolve, and that's just a special. It's
Right.
a special item.
It's like it's a special particle that could affect you many different ways.
Right.
And the effect doesn't happen until you spin, when you land there.
Well, you have to land there.
Right.
So now the third part is I can choose to either hunt and gather, which means I'm moving around and I'm either gathering food if there's food on the board, or if there's, unfortunately, toxins, I can gather those and get sick, and or specials. I can also, during a hunt and gather phase, I can attack Philip. I can actually attack with one of my moves to cause damage to him. So that's one option. I can hunt and gather and attack. Or I can evolve, or not evolve, but, well, it says evolve, but you take an evolution card. But in order to take an evolution card, you need at least 3 of your food points to buy,
It's gonna
basically.
cost you 3 food, right.
But it might be worth it, because you actually played some evolution cards the first time we played, and I was like,
Right. Yep.
I should have played evolution card because it gave me more functions or more things you could do. And then there's the mutate phase, which allows you to move up your mutation level, but unfortunately you need 4 food to do the mutate phase. And in that case, you would move your level to like 2, 3, or 4.
Right.
Now, by having higher levels, you can do more things. Like you can either move extra spaces, you can actually maintain more evolution cards if you wish. So like if I'm playing an evolution card, I can keep using that card. And then so for example, I might be able to hold 2 cards at one time and have both of those working during my turn. Up to, I think, 8. I think it's eight of them.
Right. Yeah, you can only start out with having 2 in play at any time. That's your limit.
Right. So the mutation allows you to have more cards and also cause more damage.
Yeah, and
to the other player.
The evolution cards are good cards because most of them are beneficial.
Yep.
Sometimes you get one that counts against you, but most of them are
Exactly.
beneficial.
Now, there's one other thing I could do, and that is subdivide. I could actually, subdivide myself, but that causes you have to have 5 food to do that. So
Yeah.
maybe the very first turn, you could subdivide. You start off with 6, but at the end of the day, you probably want to start gathering food first and maybe collecting some food before you can actually start subdividing all over the place, potentially. So what I think I'll do on this turn.
Okay.
As I think I could move and gather. I really could, but there's nothing to gather yet. If you can see, there's no food on the table. It's just this one special, and by the time I move over there,
Right.
I'll never make it. And by the way, to move, you are spinning the spinner for a 1d6 type roll, which is in the middle of the spinner as well.
And then your mutation level adds to that, but
Right.
only a little bit.
So I'm not going to choose to move, hunt, or get. What I'm going to choose to do is I'm actually going to pay 3 food, which brings me down to 2 food. And I'm going to take an evolution card, which tells me, once during your hunting and gathering phase, your microbe may deal up to 1 damage to a micro subdivision up to 3 spaces away. This is an effect, not an attack. So that's kind of cool. So I hold on
And
to
that's
that.
in addition to whatever else you want.
Right, so I'm going to go ahead and hold on to that as maybe something I'll use on my next turn.
That's pretty nice.
Or whatnot. So that is my turn. So then Philip goes. So again, he's got to either eat himself or eats.
There are actually times where it
Nom, nom,
might
nom.
make sense to take damage and cannibalize because you might be able to get rid of that.
Or you might need the food for
later.
something else.
Right, you
like
might. That's right. You might need the
evolving
food, and then you might be able to repair yourself. So there are cases where you might want to do it. But I'm going to start out by taking. I'm going to eat some food. Takes me
Okay.
down to 5 if I get that right.
All right.
And then let's
You're gonna
see.
do
Then
your
I'm
drift
going to do the
phase.
drift.
There we go. I like this phase. I don't know why I
Yeah.
think this is the fun part. You
So,
kind of put out what's going
I
on
feel like
here.
there should be like some kind of goo going on a microscope
Bloop, bloop,
or
bloop,
something.
bloop.
Again, it's in the bacteria,
Bacteria area, yep.
So
What
spin
number?
for the second part. I'll spin it a little less so we don't have to waste as much camera time. 14.
14. All right. What are we putting
So
in
it's
14?
going to be 14, and then let's see where it ends up. It's going to be okay.
Ooh,
So
a red
this
and a
one,
green.
we're actually going to put 2. We're going to put a toxin, and we're going to put a food. And let me explain what these arrows are now, because it really matters.
So
With
again, the green is food and red is toxin.
Right,
That's
green's
obvious, I
food, red
guess.
is toxin. So the arrows have nothing to do with the direction these things are going to move. They're not going to move around. They're going to stay right where they are. They have to do with how many items of these there actually are. So you'll see there's a little legend on the board, and it is important to make sure these little north arrows, we figured it out ahead of time that they're all pointing the same way. You'll see a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. So the fact that these arrows are pointing this way means these are 4 toxins and 4 food.
Right. So if I landed on that later, I would collect 4 food, but I'd also get 4 damage.
4 damage.
You know,
right.
so you can't just take one or the other.
Right.
You're
The
landing
arrows
on
won't
these.
change direction or anything. These will stay 4,
Right.
just like they are right
So Phil,
here.
what are you going to do? Are you going to hunt and gather? Are you going to evolve? Are you going to mutate? Are you going to subdivide?
You know, I'm going to hunt and gather, and
All right.
of course, I'm going to take a lot of damage for this. But,
Only, well, go ahead, go for it.
well, it depends where I go, I guess. So,
Spin the spinner for your D6.
so I'll spin, and my mutation level is 1, so I get 1 to my movement to add. So, and I rolled a 1, so I can only move 2.
Okay, point that out again though, just I want to make sure nobody missed that. So because we're on level 1 of mutation, it actually shows in the guide, it says you actually get +1 move to the move that you do roll.
Right.
So just make sure.
And that's where I got the 2. 1 over here, and my mutation level of 1 gives me the +1.
Right.
So it looks like I'm not
You
really
get to
doing
go
anything.
2 whole spaces.
You
Woohoo!
cannot move on diagonals.
But don't forget, you can also use one of those moves to attack. Not that I want you to attack me.
I could.
Might up losing the game here. But I'm just saying you could use a move to do an attack.
And attack you.
And if you attack me, then I would move however many damages you can give me. And at mutation level 1, you could give me, I think
0
it's
is the base damage.
0
so.
space damage. So that's not even worth it.
Right.
You can't give me damage.
Right.
Okay, fair enough.
So at this point, that's going to
That's
end
your
my
turn.
turn because I couldn't really hunt or gather anything. so.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and take my next turn. I'm already down to 2 food.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to be careful here. So I'm actually going to take 1 damage just to start myself off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could, have taken 1 food, but I don't know. Just 1 left just sounds a little scary because then, you start starving. Anyway, and I like to eat. Hence why I'm wearing this Fitbit on my arm.
They don't have
Not to
stomachs,
eat.
so they don't get like a growling stomach or anything.
I didn't know what they do. Have you heard them? Have you
I'm
listened
not
to
an
them?
organism, no, I'm
No,
not.
okay. All right, let's do drift phase. So drift phase.
Enough chatter, right?
Yeah, enough chit chat. Let's play the game. We do that in real life too. Stop chatting. Stop playing. Oh, that's on all, isn't it?
All quadrants.
So all the quadrants are going to get something. And this is
Okay.
good though.
Yeah,
Something-
this is
looks-
cool.
So
Glad
now,
this came up.
all quadrants, but what number?
It's going to be number 9
Number
on
9.
every quadrant.
And then every quadrant on number 9 is going to get.
Okay, now this is kind of interesting.
Oh, I love
so
this. Let's
the
start
way
one at a
this
time
works
here.
is let's start where 9 is.
Yes, there's my number 9.
So what you do is when this 9 element grid comes up, 9 is the one in the middle in this case. The one in the middle is the one you spun. And then you arrange all the other items around that. So
Right.
as Jane has done here, it matches the sheet or the spinner
Yep.
over here.
And this is also, because they're pointing up, they count for 3 each.
Mm-hmm.
So be aware of that as well.
There's a lot of stuff there.
I like this because this kind of a turn is good because it gets stuff on the board. There's
There's
my
the
9.
9s over here.
It gets stuff on the board. Oops, I just killed myself. And then now we have some stuff to gather
Help you out
and
over here.
collect.
So there are a couple over here.
Yeah.
And then we need one on the 9 in the middle,
Where'd number 9 go? There it is.
right there.
All right, so now we've got some
Excellent.
stuff going on the table,
Yeah.
which is good. So that's my drift phase. So I might choose to move. on you know, the hunt and gather type scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and spin. And I'm going to have a number 4, and I get +1 move, so that's 5. So let's see, I could do, I'm still not gonna get anywhere, I don't think, but let's just see.
Not unless you want to eat a toxin.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm getting closer to the food.
Getting closer, yeah.
So, and I can't obviously attack you because I'm still at 0 damage as well,
Right.
so I can't do much of anything there. In this case, once during my hunting and gathering, oh, actually, wait. See, I forgot you gotta remember your evolution cards.
Right.
Once during my hunting and gathering, your microbe may deal 1 damage to a microbe subdivision up to 3 spaces away. And the only problem is, he's not 3 spaces
No,
away.
and you never go on angles. You always go in straight lines on
Yes.
the board. So.
All right, go ahead, take your turn. So
Okay.
now you're gonna do your.
Oh, first I have
Yep.
to, let's see, I'm not going to take a damage. I'm going to eat.
Yum, 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 yum.
And then let me spin a little bit slower. And let's see, we're in the drift phase. All quadrants again.
All quadrants again,
Very
uh-oh.
interesting. So let's see what happens here.
Number?
Number is going to be 50. It's on the line. There is a rule in the game that says if it lands on a line, you go clockwise. So
15?
I'm going to go with 15.
All right, and then what are we putting out there?
So that's 15, 15. And it looks like, oh, we've got another grid, the
Again.
same
All right, I'll
thing.
do this side, you do that
I'll
side.
do this side, yeah.
All right, so
let me
15.
get one.
This is actually gonna land on you, Bubba.
Where's 15 over here? Oh boy,
We'll talk about that in just a second.
15.
Now,
All right.
that one landed on you,
Yes.
so guess what?
So that happens right away.
Get some damage.
Yep. Now, it was pointing up.
Oh, that's
which
right,
is
3.
Which is interesting. That kind of changes my strategy a little.
Da-da-da-da, damage for you.
So I've already got 3 damage right there.
That's kind of funny. Okay, so now you're gonna hunt and gather, you're gonna evolve, or you're gonna mutate, or you're gonna subdivide?
I think I'm going to.
Don't be copying
only
my
have
move.
4. I can copy your move. I can subdivide if I want. I'm going to spin. I'm hunting and gathering. Got a 3
3
plus
plus
1
1.
for my mutation level.
All right, so
So
he
I'm
does
going
here.
to go 1.
That's 1 food.
That's
Oh,
3
3 food. Better do it as you go, otherwise you forget.
Yeah. So I'm going to add the 3,
Yeah,
and I've moved 1 so far.
yeah.
And then I'm going to move 2,
Oh, boy.
which is going to give me 3 more. Which puts me at 10. I'll just use one of these.
I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
And then I'm going to move 1 more right here
Mhm.
because I don't feel like doing that and taking a ton of damage.
Did you do all your moves? right.
That is all my moves. That
All right,
is,
so he just got a whole bunch of food.
and I have no cards or anything, so it's all I can do.
Goodness. Anyway, so that's the, we're just trying to give you a little bit of the gameplay. So
Yeah.
again, very easy to play, very easy to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it might take a little time, to be fair, to get to the point where you're attacking each other as well as, you know, subdividing.
Yeah.
So we, you know, this game's not a short game, I don't think. I don't think it's hours and hours long either,
Mm-hmm.
but it will take some time. But we definitely like this game a lot, and hopefully, just by looking a little bit about it today and how to play it, you might like it too. And if you do, go ahead and go to their webpage, which we're going to post right here, or here, or here, or here, wherever Phil decides to post the web pages.
It's there right now.
Somewhere on the screen are web pages to go to, and to know that it's going to be on Kickstarter soon. So we hope you do support it. We definitely are supporting it, and we hope we get to see this in fruition. We like
Yeah.
to see games come to reality. So thank you so much for watching. You be the
judge.
You
Yes,
be the judge.
you be the judge. And come back to our website for future You Be the Judge shows.
Yep, and don't forget to check out the normal Table for Two show. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the next one, and seeing you hopefully at all the conventions we're going to this year.
Yes.
Yay! Come and visit us at our booths. Talk to you soon.
Bye.